Reporters asked Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin about marijuana policy last week, and his response is priceless. I mean, I guess somebody brought up that alcohol is legal, so why shouldn't weed be legal as well? And he said, quote, "Most folks with marijuana wouldn't be sitting around a wedding reception smoking marijuana." What? So that was the response from the reporters. They were like, "Weddings? What are you talking about? We didn't ask you about weddings. We asked you about weed policy." Then he said, quote, "If I'm at a wedding reception here and somebody has a drink or two, most people wouldn't say they're wasted." And again, all the reporters are like, "What are you talking about? That's really your argument? We asked you about marijuana policy and your response is, well, they don't smoke weed at weddings, so it should be illegal." How do you even respond to that? But okay, wait a second. People do oftentimes do a lot of cocaine at weddings. That's a very popular, like, bachelor party drug, wedding drug. So should we legalize that? According to your logic, we should. If we're just going based off of what do people do at weddings, we'll only have those things legal. Okay, so cocaine's got to be legal. And on the flip side of that, people don't usually play Xbox 360 at weddings. So should we ban Xbox 360? Again, apparently if the standard is, well, as long as it's done at a wedding, that's cool. And what do you want to make a national declaration that everybody's forced to eat cake every day? Actually, that wouldn't be too bad of a note to self. That might be a good idea. But what are you talking about? That's not just because it happens at a wedding or because you're used to it in your own party environments. That's not an argument for it or against it. You're just creating an awkward sentence and using it as an argument. You're not making any sense, man. You're not making any sense. But as you know, I when I was reading this story earlier, it struck me something about Governor Scott Walker, but this goes for a lot of politicians across the spectrum in the U.S. Their brains are broken. Not their brains are broken. They don't think about things in the way that you think about things. They don't think about things in the way that I think about things. We're faced with a policy conundrum or a question, and we seek out the evidence and the proof to try to shape our worldview and our beliefs as to what we think should be legal and shouldn't be legal, and how do you balance freedom with security if you try to do that at all, and just these grand principled debates and empirical debates based on the reality of something. He's not concerned with that. He's just, like this, it wasn't even a thought to him. It probably didn't even occur to Scott Walker, like the question, should weed be legal? No, he's just existing as this corrupt governor who just does the bidding of the businessmen who pay him. By the way, that's exactly why he's one of the biggest guys to crush unions in the country. He passed the Right to Work for Less law, which basically took $1,200 out of the pockets of union workers overnight, right? And he even said, we're trying to do divide and conquer here. So all he is, he's a puppet. Right? He's the shell of a human being that's doing the bidding for corporate America, for the rich businessmen, and he's just helping out the buddies he meets on the cocktail circuit. That's all there is to Scott Walker. There's nothing going on, in between his ears. It's just a bunch of mush. So when somebody asks him a substantive political question on an issue that's interesting, like, what are your thoughts on legalizing marijuana, man? I mean, alcohol is legal, and that's worse for you, so why not legalize it? Weddings, bad, good, things, stuff, whatever. Yeah, very convincing, Scott. Very convincing.